Hey guys, this is Mr. H. Hey, this is the second part of the nSolve series of videos. The first one was pretty straightforward. You're looking for an equation and one variable. Now, this one is whenever you see inequalities, you can still use nSolve. You just have to do a couple extra steps in order to figure out what the solution is. So I'm going to do 3 examples and then I'm going to shut it down, and hopefully this will make sense and will be clear. Now, this first question was taken from the benchmark exam. Only about 4 out of every 10 students got this one right. So I wanted to make sure I covered this again just to make sure people are a little bit more comfortable with inequalities. So very first thing you're going to do is make a number line. Just a really basic number line, and in the middle, you're going to put 0. Now, basically what we're going to do is we're going to start by testing 0, substituting 0 in for P, and seeing if this makes a true or false statement. And then based on that, that'll tell us which way our inequality needs to go when we find our boundary. So here's what we're going to do. Now, this is the one exception to my rule. This is the only time you should be storing 0 into any variable. So it's going to be 0 control store, and we're going to store it into the letter P. Boom, that's done. And then we're just going to key in the inequality exactly as we see it. So it's going to be 4P plus 2. And then we're going to have less than 2 times parentheses P plus 5. So we do P plus 5, close the parentheses, and press enter. Now it says a true statement. So that means that when we plugged in 0, we got a true statement. Now, so no matter what happens, we are going to be going towards the 0 because that's part of our solution. So now we're going to nSolve. The only thing that we need to do is we're going to change the inequality, the less than, to an equal sign. So we're going to menu 31. And then we're just going to type in we're going to type it in as an equation. 4P plus 2 equals, and then it's going to be 2 times P plus 5. And then let me make sure that this is clear and everything looks good. All right, so now all you have to do is put comma and then P, since that's what we're trying to find. And it tells us that the boundary is going to be 4. So if we go back to the iPad, you can see 4 is over here, but we want to make sure we are going in the direction of the 0. So our inequality is going to be 4 is less than 4. Okay, P is less than 4. P is less than 4. As you can see, we're going to the left. This inequality is pointing to the left, so the answer here would be 4. Okay, so always start by finding out if the 0, it makes the inequality true or false, because that's going to help us. All right, let's do another one. All right, this is a show your work one, but we're going to do the same thing. First thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a number line. In the middle, we're going to put 0. And let me get rid of this. Menu 14, delete the variable, then menu 15, clear the screen. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 0 and I'm going to store it right into the variable X. Press enter. And now I'm going to type in the inequality and see if it gives me a true or false. So it's going to be control divide. So it's going to be a -2 over 3. And then it's going to be X plus 6. And then it's going to be greater than a -12. Now, when I press enter, it tells me true. So this is a true statement. So that means that I am going to be heading towards the 0. Now what I need to do is I need to find the boundary. So I'm going to do menu 31. And I'm just going to type that in again. So it's going to be control divide a -2 over 3 X plus 6 is equal to, remember, it has to be equal to a -12. I want to find the boundary. So press this and I press enter. and it tells me 27. So our boundary is going to be way over here at 27. It doesn't matter. We know it's to the right of the 0. But when we look at this, it's got to be going to the left because the 0 is in our solution. So our final inequality has got to be pointing this way. Remember, you see that little sign that's telling us which way it should be going. So it's x is less than 27. That's what we would write. If we just wrote this, we would get 1 point. This is a 2-point question, so we're getting 50% of the points. And that's all we need to do. We got to try to get as many points as possible. Now I'm going to do one more example, and then I'm going to shut this down and post it. All right, so here's another one. If you look at this one, it says, what is the solution to the inequality 2 plus 4 divided by x? 4/9 x is greater than 4 plus x. So very first thing we're going to do, let me get rid of this. I'm going to go menu 14, get rid of the stored variables, then menu 15. I'm going to clear the screen. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a number line. And I'm going to put 0 here. And then I'm going to store 0 into x. So control store into x. That's done. And now I'm going to type in the inequality and see if it gives me a true or false. So this is 2 plus 4/9 x. Oops. I always do that. X. And then it's greater than or equal to. So when I close this, it's going to be this one. And then 4 plus x. 4 plus x. Let me make this bigger so this is easier to see. And then I press enter. And it says false. Okay, this one was the first one that said false. So what this means is, okay, I'm going to put false here. Now this means no matter where my boundary is, I'm going to be going away from the 0, not towards it like I did on the last two. I'm going to be going away. So now what we need to do is we're going to get the calculator again, and we are going to enter menu 31 and then enter the inequality as an equation and see what we get. So this is going to be 2 plus control divide 4 over 9 x is equal to, and then we're going to say 4 plus x, and then we're going to do comma x. So this is going to tell us our boundary. So when I press enter here, it says a negative 3.6. Now, if you look at the answer choices, you see that none of them are as decimals. They're all as fractions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to convert it to a fraction. So menu 22. So the answer is a negative 18 over 5. So now, just by doing that, I can eliminate these two choices over here because I know it's not these. So it's got to be one of these. Now, where does a negative 18 over 5 go? Well, or negative 3.6, it's going to be over here. Or we can say a negative 18 over 5, same thing. Now, we need to go away from the 0, which means we're going to be going this way. So our inequality should be x is less than or equal to a negative 18 over 5. So it's still going away from the 0. It's going away from the 0. So our answer is going to be number 1, not number 2, because if it was number 2, we would be going this way, and we don't want to go towards the 0 since we got a false. We want to go away from it. So make sure you understand that. Once you know when you plug in the 0, if it's true or false, that's going to tell you whether you should be going towards the 0 if it's true, or away from the 0 if it's false. So that's our answer, and that's how you would do it. All right. So start by always make a number line, put the 0 in the middle, store that number into the inequality and see if you get a true or false. That's going to help you determine which way your inequality is going to ultimately go. Then you use the nSolve to find the boundary number, and then you determine based on where it is, it's got to go away from the 0. Or you got to determine if it's going towards the 0 or away from the 0. Okay, that's it. Let me stop this and let me post it.